Hello everyone, today is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2014. Let's get right to the SPY. My last video I called this is a nice little pennant that's breaking out. Sure enough, we get a nice follow through right into this double top area. So let's see if we can break out here. We had a nice move already. If we can consolidate here, perhaps. I think we need to consolidate here minimally before we break out. You can see the volume here is not that significant. But either way, it does usually like to fake people out here and probably consolidate, pull back, consolidate before busting higher. So I do think some digestion is needed if the market does want to travel higher, okay, in the near term. But this is a nice resistance level, nice breakout so far. So let's see where the market takes us. I think it needs to pause and pull back here and make a nice base if it wants to break out. Okay, watch the SPY. All you're watching is this double top and this low here in the 50 moving average. So this is your range on the SPY 50 moving average, which is my green line, and this double top. Okay, let's see which way the market wants to break. Let's look at IW1. Pretty much the same deal. Nice follow through today in the markets overall. You know, recapturing the 20 moving average on the daily chart. You know, it's showing a little bit weaker than the SPY, so that's something to be cautious. It's not testing the previous highs as the SPY is on the daily chart. Let's go to the Qs quickly here as I do a quick video update for you guys. That you could draw a nice little trend line here. So you know it is catching resistance here on the Qs. So this perhaps could be the breakout point for the Qs. Once again, it is showing a little bit more weakness than the SPY on the Q. Just notice that it is failing to be at the highs at the moment that we made back in early March. Okay, just something to keep after. Nothing much going here. Trying to recapture the 20-day as the IWM as well, and the SPY. Let's see if it's leading here. It already, I believe, confirmed above the 20. Yes, already confirmed. That's very bullish. Okay, so we've actually confirmed back above the 20-day moving average. So any drop back into that, that'd be your bullish pullback level, but you always got to look for a bullish pattern and a time cycle there to go long. But maybe a retest of this breakout trend line that would coincide with that 20-day moving average. That would be a nice opportunity to, if you want to catch the long side trade. Okay, right now you wouldn't be chasing it. Wait for a pattern pullback and see if it wants to break out to new highs. Once again, my measured move, guys, off that 618 Fibonacci extension would take you roughly to the 212 level, which is right here, just pretty much after this 100% retrace right here at 156. I went over this in my last video. Let me go over it again. Pretty simple stuff when you grab fib extensions. You pretty much take where it last retraced to a 100% retrace and just extend the fib level to another 618. This is actually 382. Pause there, and the next one will be a 618, which would be at roughly 211, 212 area. Okay, on the SPY. Okay, let's see if it wants to head there. I mean, really, the charts are all looking fine, uptrending beautifully. You know, maybe I had more downside bias if this triangular pattern broke to the downside. Maybe we want to retest this 50-day, but no, it's breaking to the upside. So let's see if we can follow through. If we do break above new highs, look for this level to be tagged ultimately on the SPY. Okay, guys, a 212 area. That's what I'm looking at. Let's go back to the daily chart really quick on some of these other stocks. I think I got a request for CELG. Let's take a look at that really quickly before we take off on this fine afternoon. CELG has a really nice head and shoulder pattern, and you could make a case that it's right here: left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The 200-day moving average will also be resistance now after it broke that. You know, that was two confirming trend lines. If 200-day moving average was your breakdown and this neckline. So now it looks like we want to retest it. It is into resistance. We did a 3-day move into a narrow candle. We have a small candle or a spinning top candle, doji, whatever you want to call it, into 200-day moving average and the 20 that's sloping down. See, these moving averages are sloping down. This could be a sign of a breakdown, so we have to be very cautious on CELG. Okay, so this is a make or break point actually at the moment right here. Okay, on CELG. So if you're short or if you're long, you might want to tighten up that stop. If you want to play it short, your stop would be back above this trend line and these moving averages. So look for that. You can see it also confirming that on the weekly chart and CELG's chart. This is the weekly chart, so every candle you see is a weekly candle. And pretty much you can see it clearly here on the weekly chart. You have a nice head and shoulder pattern. I just like to draw these out when I can. Very, very clean pattern here. But they do tend to fail, so you just have to keep in mind when these patterns form on an uptrend, they have a bigger percentage chance of failing. So just something to keep note. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't play them. Just know the potential outcomes of them. Just know and how to play it, when to exit, and you know where to take profits. Okay, and that's what we teach you here at xfactortrader.com under our membership services. I mean, this is a very simple, clean-cut head and shoulder pattern. Meets all the criteria for it. It's a actually very pretty pattern. But notice you're in an uptrend on the weekly chart. Unless you start trading, continue to trade here and make a bearish pattern below all these moving averages, and that's a setup you want to see before it starts playing out. And that just adds another high percentage chance for it to play out. Okay, nice bear flag here, and nice profits to be had right there on this. Okay, but right now just retesting this. See if it wants the next few days wants to test this neckline and those moving averages on the daily chart. Okay, let's go to monthly chart. Still uptrending, I believe. Yeah, nothing wrong with the nothing wrong with the bigger time frame. Still uptrending nicely. Just needs to digest here. So, but let's see if this is a bigger pattern that wants to play out, or a more smaller pattern that wants to play out compared to this big uptrend. But right now, your target would be around 120. Just grabbing a rough estimate. Pretty much the low of this big green bar would be your target to take profits. Okay, if you are short, that's where you would find support. Bigger time frame support. Okay, on the monthly chart, the 200. I'm sorry, the 20 moving average, which hasn't even been tagged yet, so it needs perhaps pull back. Nothing wrong with it. A healthy pullback would be back to the 20 moving average on the monthly chart. So roughly the 120 would be on a longer term support on the monthly chart. And that's where your head and shoulder target would be. Go back to the daily chart to see if we can find, this is starting to look a little weak. When you're trading on a daily chart, when you're trading below the 200, that's when it's in breakdown mode on the daily chart. Okay, guys, and it does kind of coincide with this gap fill. Okay, so watch out for that on CELG. Let's go. I think there's another one on Target. Let's go over that really quickly. Target actually made a nice little bottom here, and it's reversing nicely. Look at the volume here. You got to just keep note of this. Always watch volume, guys. Watch the pattern. Okay, nice volume on this gap up here. I don't know what it was based on, maybe on earnings or something, but nice bullish pullback, and it looks like it wants to continue to pretty grind higher, shoot higher back to this top double top here. Off this measured move, ABC pattern, it does measure out the target for this pattern is around 66. 30 and change right there. Let's go to the weekly chart. Weekly chart, you can see a nice wide range bar, nice bullish. Woof, beautiful. Nice bars inside. Let's see if it wants to play out to the upside. Nice little pierce with a 200, and you're getting a nice little bounce on target. So, I mean, your stop out if you're in already. It could be below this, pivot here, and it'll close the 2 pennies below that, or it could be your 200 at 58, or it could be this low. But this if you had your stop at 55, that'd be too wide. That'd be like a 1-to-1 win the risk reward. So you want to have your reward higher than your risk at all times when you do a trade. That's why I always like playing the low of these candles, because your stop out's very low, very low risk trades. This is more if you play it here, you kind of missed out. Maybe at the 200, then I'm pretty sure that's where people took a bet there. Any close with the 200 back below 200, there's a breakdown. So it's recaptured to 200. When you recapture 200 on a wide range bar like this, it's a fake out. And when you get a nice little bullish pattern back retesting the 200, whoa, you want to jump on board right there. Okay, so that's targets pattern monthly chart really quick. See if we see anything uptrending nicely still. So nothing really do. Nice reversal candle on the monthly chart as well. When you see kind of just recaptured all that loss here and pretty much reversed that whole month of loss with one bar, and now it's making a bullish pattern. So looking pretty bullish on Target at the moment. Okay, so that's my bias on Target. Whole Foods, really quickly. Whole Foods, let's see. This is the daily chart. Let's pull it back. Let's see. Nice little retracement so far. This is your level to watch on Target. I'm sorry, on Whole Foods. Very simple trend line here. This was the resistance. Now it's support, and it could be making a head and shoulder top here, but I'm not seeing a target playing out all the way to 30, $35. So I think this should hold. Okay, this level to watch is $50. Okay, very clear, even number play. So that's very important support. That's why it's getting a nice bounce there. So if you want to play to the long side, very clear a reference point that people are watching will be the $50 level. Okay, I think that's gonna be very important. It is kind of making a bearish pattern here, but it is at very important support. Okay, so watch this trend line. That's all you're watching on Whole Foods if you're long. If it let it bounce to see where it can go. But your $2 stop, who knows how high it can go? So just trim and trail your trades and just know how to manage it. That is Whole Foods. Let's go to what else we got. Google. Let's go to Google. Google, it's pretty much going sideways, doing nothing, bear flagging pretty much after this nice little baby bounce right here. But this is not what you want to see on Google. And that's kind of a little problematic too when you see leading stocks making death crosses like this. If you see this moving, when you see this, that's starting to look bearish. The markets are holding up very fine though. I don't know what's the deal with Google. Google's not leading at the moment. It's actually showing a lot of relative weakness compared to the SPY, which is unusual, a little unusual. Usually Google, the leading stocks, will follow the markets. But let's go to Facebook. Facebook. Let's go over it. Same deal, same pretty much. I mentioned you might get a bounce here, just based off the volume and oversold condition, and you already fulfilled the head and shoulder target, so it was due for a bounce here. Spinning top candle, nice little dead cat bounce. It could be a dead cat bounce. Let's see. It is almost into these moving averages, so watch out for Facebook to the downside if it does catch resistance here. But the trades was already here to go long if you were. Not enough factors for me to play it, but there were some signals here. That's why I called that in my last few videos on Facebook. Let's go over Ford. I said that was a failed pattern, which usually means the move is going to be in the opposite direction. And sure enough, this was obviously on some kind of news or something. And the pattern failed clearly, and now you're getting more upside potential. The volume is kind of, it's not as high as the previous day, but it is getting up there. MACD is starting to space out. You were deeply, you weren't over completely on the daily chart for the stochastic oscillator, but once again you're recapturing the 200. This looks pretty bullish to me. Once again, when a bearish pattern fails and everyone sees it, they have to cover. So it just kind of ignites the stock to go in the opposite direction. So this pattern has failed, and that's why you are seeing more upside in the stock today. But let's see where it closes on the weekly chart. Okay, see if it closes below those moving averages on the weekly chart. You're watching the 200. Okay, on the daily chart. See if it closes above the 200 on the daily. On the weekly, you want to see it close above the two moving averages here at $16. So those are your levels to watch if you still want to play it short. But right now, it is looking like a very failed pattern. Patterns fail once again. You got to know when they fail and know when to change direction. So if you went long here, you pretty much made your money back if you were short on the stock. You got to just be able to change direction. You got to be nimble as a trader. You got to be nimble and read all the signals. You got to be able to change directions. You got I don't care if the market goes down, up, sideways, and all around. As long as you know the chart, you can play it and profit, and that's all that really matters. Okay, let's go over anything else. Let's see, EA, I believe I called out a nice little topping tail. It didn't make one on the monthly chart, so I would have liked it. It's still getting a nice retracement. I would have liked it if it made a topping tail on the monthly chart as well. It did not do that. I believe it made a narrow candle, but on the monthly chart, yeah, it made it not narrow enough for me. If it closed more towards the lows, I would have liked it as a doji. Right now, it's the beginning of the month, so you can't make much of the March or April candle. But the weekly chart still has a nice little, topping tail. Not much volume on it, but it is playing out. And if you are short, any close back above the high of this candle on a weekly close would negate this candle. But right now, it's still in play. Okay, that's EA, guys. If there's any other signals, ticker symbols you want to put out, I just got a few on my last video. So if you want to post those and see what we're made of, I'll put the chart up on the next video, and I'll go over the time frames that I'm looking at daily, weekly, and monthly charts. And feel free to do that. They will be part of the gold membership for swing traders as well. And those videos will be posted within 24 hours. And I'll go into more analysis and go through more thorough questions and answers once you are a member. So that's that. Check us out, xfactortrader.com. And look under the 15 free day trial and try it out. Profit with us. And I will talk to you guys next time. Okay? Have a great day.